Windmills, waterways, and wooden shoes. Up next on Deaf Mosaic. Hello, and welcome to Deaf Mosaic. I'm Gil Eastman.
And I'm Mary Lou Novitsky. Thanks for joining us.
Today we're going to visit the beautiful country of the Netherlands. And here to tell us more about her country is Yvonne de Vries, an international student at Gallaudet University. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you, Gil and Mary Lou. It's my pleasure to be here.
Last summer, our Deaf Mosaic TV crew visited Holland to document a performing arts troupe from Gallaudet's Model Secondary School for the Deaf, MSSD. Yvonne joined our crew to help translate and provide insight into the Dutch deaf community.
It was a wonderful learning experience, and I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome. The MSSD Performing Arts Roadshow visited many Dutch organizations, including several schools for the deaf. Yvonne, can you tell us a bit about education in your country?
Yes, we have 5 deaf schools. One is oral, and the other 4 use sign language.
Which did you attend?
My school used sign language. It's called the Gallaudet School. It has about 60 students enrolled and is the oldest in Holland.
Thanks, Yvonne. Holland's windmills, waterways, museums, and maritime climate attract a lot of tourists, and it's one of the country's largest industries. Most visitors first stop in Amsterdam, and that's where our journey begins too, as we follow a talented group of young performers from Washington, D.C.'s Model Secondary School for the Deaf. Arriving at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, visitors soon discover what makes the city one of the most dynamic and popular in Europe. Amsterdam is alive with colorful street markets offering anything from fresh herring to fresh flowers. Brimming with culture, the city is home to over 100 art galleries and over 40 different museums, including Holland's crown jewel, the Rijksmuseum. Whether it's the red light district or the peaceful canals and side street cafes, Amsterdam has many interesting faces to show. Helping the MSSD visitors find their way around Amsterdam were local host families who opened their homes to share a special taste of life in Holland.
I stayed with one family in Amsterdam, and they had a deaf girl and her hearing sister. The parents were hearing, and they spoke English. We had a lot of fun together. They were so friendly, you know. I remember there was a very long, steep, narrow stairway in their 2-story house. I remember just barely being able to get up there with my luggage without falling or hitting my head. But the family was sweet.
The MSSD performers quickly discovered that bicycles are a favorite mode of transportation throughout Holland. But to see the sights of Amsterdam, the students chose another method. Boarding a glass canopy tour boat, the group was guided along some of the 160 scenic canals that weave their way through Amsterdam, often referred to as the Venice of Holland.
Amsterdam was a place I really enjoyed the most because there was so much to see, a lot to learn about, lots of things America doesn't have that we would like to see here. But we saw it there in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam's canal system dates back to 1609. Gliding past 17th century reminders of Holland's golden age, the boat tour impressed the roadshow members with the country's rich heritage as an international shipping and trading power.
Really, Holland is a special place. There's no place like it. Many people don't realize how special it truly is. They were very friendly, inviting, willing to show you their homes. They'd offer a place to stay overnight and offer you anything you need. They were happy to have you. Makes you wish that people all over the world were the same as the people in Holland.
There are several clubs and organizations serving the deaf community throughout Holland. Many come together in this building, headquarters of the Welfare Foundation for the Deaf in Amsterdam, known by its Dutch acronym SWDA, SWEDA. SWEDA chairman Dick Kerkhoven explains what role the organization plays in the Dutch deaf community.
SWEDA is an umbrella organization for the deaf here in Amsterdam. There used to be several clubs and associations for relaxation, women's clubs, youth clubs, sports clubs. All these clubs went to the municipalities for funding. And they kept coming back to us saying, "Why don't you set up an umbrella organization?" Which we've done. It's called SWEDA. We have a youth club, a women's club, a social club, a sports club. We have a gay and lesbian club. All that. Many foreign deaf people come here to SWEDA. Deaf tourists are often referred to us by the Tourist Information Bureau. We have a staff of 5 or 6 professionals and about 50 or 60 volunteers. We're quite proud of SWEDA. It is known throughout Amsterdam as the place for deaf people to meet. And what I really hope for in the future is that we can keep this place as a meeting point for deaf people.
Holland's official name, the Netherlands, means lowlands, and more than half of the country lies below sea level. Renowned for their ingenuity in reclaiming land from the sea, the Dutch continue the use of protective levees or dikes to hold back the forces of Mother Nature. Crossing one of Holland's most impressive water control projects, the 18-mile-long Zuiderzee Dam, the roadshow continued their journey with a stop at the rural village of Oedel. At this nearby training center, the group led workshops for actors, performers, and drama teachers from all over Holland. Along with their performances of popular songs, dance, and mime, the roadshow offers workshops as part of their annual tour abroad. Thousands see the roadshow perform on stage, but most of the most memorable exchanges happen during these workshops.
It's so strange. For 3 years before Holland, I hated teaching workshops. I did it, but I hated it. It was so boring, and always the same old thing. I hated it. But in Holland, my first thought was, how am I even going to teach the workshop since they don't understand ASL? But again, gestures were important, so I used gestures. And we set up the ABC story and other things that were very interactive. They really helped our work. It was the best workshop ever. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
For many years, Peter Bakker has performed professionally as a mime and magician in Holland.
I've gotten to know a few new people and learn new concepts with them. I also like that the hearing people used sign language. We did some warm-up exercises. Then we played a few games to get everyone acquainted. Some games involved grabbing one another's shoes. And in the afternoon, we had a workshop on improvisation. People would make up images of one another and try to improvise and build upon those images to tell a story. I liked that.
The workshops were special to me because there were some actors there who had years of experience, and there were some that did not. And for some reason, I liked the workshops because it allowed me to form relationships with the people there and give them something I know that maybe they know already, but from an American point of view. You know, everyone has different views on something. I like working with young kids and old people. It's different. Every individual is different. That's why it's special.
Soon, the road show was on the move again, this time stopping in the city of Ada, located near Holland's largest national park. The group was warmly greeted at the city hall by the mayor, who welcomed them to this region known as the Green Heart of Holland. Then it was time to prepare for a performance at Ada's Rehorst Auditorium. This would be their opening performance in Holland, and the group would soon draw upon their experience from previous tours and from the countless hours of rehearsal. Through their involvement in the MSSD Performing Arts program, these teens have learned the true meaning of patience and teamwork. The roadshow experience is equally special for backstage staffers like director Maria Tau, who try to keep the performers stage ready during the long weeks of travel.
There is really no one word to describe the show. There is no way to sum up everything. It's so individual in meaning. For me, something might have meant one thing, but to another, something else. It means many different things. Every time I think of this show, I think of it from different perspectives, like seeing how much I have changed and how much I've learned. But truthfully, I really can't sum it up as one thing.
I remember one time we performed at a deaf school in the south of Holland, I think. When we finished, we left to go out to the bus, and it was cool because many people were coming up to us, and the students from the deaf school were waving and cheering for Holland and for America. It was pretty rowdy. It really had quite an effect on me. I felt so wonderful. What a wonderful experience. I felt like I did something important or, special.
One of Holland's most enduring images is the windmill, but today there are only about 200 still in operation. Newer technologies are emerging to assist Holland's vital agriculture industry. Advancements in greenhouse cultivation help provide fresh-cut flowers to a worldwide market. Located in the northern city of Groningen is the Gallaudet School. Established in 1790, it is the oldest of Holland's 5 major deaf schools. Anne Oestraat is the school's director.
Well, Holland had a oral tradition from, say, 1900 up till 1980, but it was not 100% oral. There have always been signs in the school, especially in the boarding houses. But in the 70s, there were all things going around in the world, especially in Scandinavia and America. And parents and teachers got discussions about 2 things. That's one thing was the oral approach doesn't bring us to a level of language using that's enough. It's not. We want it better, so we should try total communication. The second point of view was that with total communication, the social, emotional upbringing of the child would be better. The big issue at the moment for going bilingual is that when you decide to become a bilingual institute, you can only do that if the families become bilingual also. So I will not allow this institute to start a bilingual program if not at the same time there is a bilingual training for parents. Next to that, we think that, well, you need 40 till 50% of your staff to being deaf to be a real bicultural and bilingual institute. So we are looking for deaf people who want to become teachers, because there are not enough deaf teachers in Holland at the moment.
The Gallaudet School has been a leader in the effort to advance sign language usage in the classroom. All 5 of Holland's major deaf schools are expected to be bilingual by the year 2000.
Today, there are few deaf teachers. I hope that in the future there will be more deaf teachers because it's so important to communicate using sign language. It's important in sharing knowledge with the students. They feel more comfortable with sign language and they understand better.
Deaf adults throughout Holland look to these teachers to sow the seeds of deaf culture among the next generation. Director of Social Services for Deaf Adults, Herman Schepper, hopes that deaf youth will be instilled with a positive sense of their deaf identity.
I feel deaf identity is important. It's your self-image, your self-esteem as a deaf person. You are a deaf person. You will always be a deaf person. But some deaf schools train deaf people to become fake hearing people. They are deaf and will always be deaf. However, it's a hearing society and we have to fit in. We have to live with that. To do so, you have to know your limitations as well as your capabilities. So you have to have that self-esteem, that insight into who you are, that identity.
The MSSD roadshow performers became cultural ambassadors by blending entertainment and deaf awareness through the expressive use of American Sign Language.
That's the reason we wanted people there to see us, to find out that sign language could help the children in terms of their education. I guess we were a turning point for the educational system, because if they felt very positive about us, then they would allow signing in all of the schools. But if not, then the schools would remain oral. So we were ambassadors.
Very special bonds were formed during a visit to the Gallaudet in Ede. Here, the roadshow observed a unique living community offering a safe, comfortable home for many of Holland's deaf senior citizens.
This is the one place in the Netherlands where all the deaf people from Amsterdam, from the south, the north, come together. They all sign a lot and we can't all lip read too well, so we need sign language in order to communicate.
My wife and I were not all that close to other deaf people before. I was retired and didn't want to have too much to do with them. But then I came to the Gallaudet, and the contact was great.
One day, I was really lucky because I was sitting and eating when talking with a cool old lady. Then this man said, "Who wants to ride a bike?" I knew a lot of people wanted to, so I said I didn't want to. I didn't care. Everyone felt sorry for me because my mother and my sister were going, so they gave me a bike too. I was frustrated because Kelly rode in the back with me and kept moving the handlebars, and really, you're supposed to stay straight. But she kept trying to steer and kept moving my seat. I was annoyed, but it was a cool experience. I really enjoyed it.
It's been incredible. I've learned a lot in the MSSD Performing Arts program. When I first came in, I was so awkward. I was oral, I didn't sign, and I didn't know much about drama. But when I looked around and saw what deaf kids could do dramatically, I was willing to learn. So I learned to sign ASL and to truly express myself, and to be more assertive in showing what deaf people can do. I went through 3 years of hard work at MSSD, and now I feel I've made it. I know I can do it now. I can be a successful actor. I know I can.
Let the River Flow is the traditional closing number of the roadshow performances. Its powerful and inspiring message is easily understood, and audiences are often encouraged to join in signing the lyrics.
What I want to get out of the MSSD experience is for people to say, oh, they can do it, and look up and see what can be done. If you work hard, you will have luck and opportunity in the U.S. And I don't mean to say that this can't be done in Holland. They have to work hard for their opportunities because they don't have the same opportunities that we do. They don't have an ADA, and they should work for that, and so many other things. It may sound corny, but I want them to know that deaf people can do it. It's that simple. Do it.
Right now we have a very tight schedule because there are new members joining the roadshow, and we have to train them, teach them the signs for the songs and the acting and so on. Every year we start all over again. We have new students joining, so we start all over again.
That's the end of our program for today. Thanks, Yvonne, for your assistance in producing this show and for being with us today. We wish you much success with your education and future goals.
Thank you.
And thanks to the MSSD Performing Arts Troupe who allowed us to tag along. We wish you much future success as well. Until next time, when Deaf Mosaic brings you more stories from around our world, I'm Gil Eastman.
And I'm Mary Lou Novitsky. So long.
So long.